Hi, I'm Joel Goodman and this is a little talk about sight reading. The first part of this video I wanted to film by my bookshelf because sight reading, so many pupils and parents say, Joel, when are you going to teach the sight reading, or how do you do the sight reading? And sight reading has to be, it's something that a pupil should be trying to do every day as part of your practice. If you're preparing for grades, you've got your pieces, your scales, your sight reading, the listening. There's less practice to do, you'll mainly do that with your teacher. But those three things, every day or every time you go to the piano, in an ideal world, you'll do a little bit of sight reading, scales and pieces. Most of my pupils don't bother practicing their sight reading. They don't sight read, and then they get to the grade and they can't really do it. So many of my pupils will fail sight reading because they don't practice it. If you're a young person and you're at school, you'll be looking at books and reading from books all day every day and looking up at the board, reading what's on the board. So you're practicing reading all the time. And any of you young learners out there, I'm sure already, if you were looking at a reading book, you could just open it and read it. That is sight reading. You don't practice it, you just open it and read it. But you did do a lot of practice to get to that point. You used to have to sound things out and go, once upon a time, and then bit by bit you got fluent at reading. It's the same with music. In the professional world of piano playing, I'm okay at best at sight reading. So I know what it's like to struggle with sight reading. I find it difficult. But I've read quite a lot of stuff, and I've gone through this. Some stuff I've practiced, some stuff I've just sight read. And I've developed the ability to be able to sight read to an okay level by a professional standard, just by reading. So my first thing is just try and sight read. Do it every time you go to the piano. If you haven't got music, go online and type in free sight reading practice, or any old music by Mozart, Bach, Beethoven, easy to play. A lot of it is out of copyright, and you will find free versions of it online, and read anything. And also, if I heard a song I liked on Classic FM or in a show or anywhere, in a film, I would try my hardest to get that music and try and read it. So get reading, get buy stuff. If you haven't got money, try and find free downloads, or ask a teacher. Hey, if any of my people said to me, Joel, can I borrow a book? I'd love it. No one ever asks. Sometimes I used to ask my teachers, hey, have you got this piece of music? Can I borrow it? So ask your teacher, ask anyone in your family who plays music, can you borrow a book? And just try. And the other thing is, when you're sight reading, which at first will be terrible and it won't really sound that musical, if there's something you don't understand, like a rhythm, circle it and ask your teacher, how does this rhythm go? Because once you start to understand them, then you'll remember for the next time. So that's my kind of rant bit over with. I'll now head over to the piano and give some grade 2 sight reading specific ideas, just to help you get through the grade, which is normally what I'm helping my pupils do. Hey, if you don't want to fail, do this. But the tips I give you won't make you a great sight reader. The only thing that will make you a great sight reader is if you start reading music as often as possible. Okay, so here we are looking at a piece of grade 2 sight reading. Now, the first thing with the sight reading is you need to find your beginning notes. You really should start getting quick at them at grade 2, so you should just look at it and go, that's B. And get your hand on B. It always tells you what finger to start with, so this is finger 3 on B. Just turn it up a little bit. The other hand, again, should be able to look at it quite quickly. It says G on this example. Now, also notice there's a key signature. You should know, make sure you know what sharps or flats are in the key signatures for your grade. Grade 2, okay, make sure you know what you can be asked to do. This one has an F sharp, so if you're on an F, you need to adjust the finger, I always think, to be ready. Okay, so that if you play an F, you don't forget and play an F natural, you play an F sharp. On this hand, there is no F sharp, and there won't be, because the hand does not move. I say to my pupils, if you move your hands, you're a dodo. That's one of my top insults. Don't be a dodo, don't move your hands, okay? You found the right place, and then you're ready to go. Okay, so the tricky thing at grade 2 is that the hands are now playing together. So, as you start, now, once we play, we've started, and we've got to try and keep moving forwards, even if we get wrong notes. So, on this particular example, I would have in my head, I want to play T, 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 something, 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 T, milk, T, milk. Now at the end, it's slightly different. There's a minim, a crotchet and a minim. What I do is I look at the smallest chunks of time. Okay, so the top one we just hold down for 3. I don't think about that, I just go to the left hand and I'll do T, 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 T. That's milk, sorry, T, milk. Now that would pass grade 2 sight reading, maybe that would be a merit. I didn't put dynamics in, it was a bit ploddy, but it would definitely pass. Now not many of my pupils could even do that at grade 2. A lot of the time they can't because they don't practice this. If I've got a pupil who really has never done sight reading and we're 2 weeks before the exam, then really what I'm saying to them is, right, let's clap this. So we know that the rhythm is T, 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 milk, T, milk. Right, now I say to them, whatever happens, you are going to get that rhythm. T, T, T. And I don't care if it comes out sort of like this. And even I moved my hand there. My hand was being silly, so in my own words, I was a bit of a dodo there because I moved my hands. But I got that rhythm. So that is my goal to you, the most important one. Get that rhythm. If you get that rhythm, you've got half the music right. If you get the rhythm and some of the notes right, you've done over half of the music correctly. When I'm sight reading, I'm aiming to get 70 to 80% correct. And you're allowed to make mistakes at sight reading. In the grade, it says, even at a pass level, that you can make mistakes. So don't worry about that. Okay, so just to sum it up quite quickly. Number 1, find your place. B, G. Number 2, check the key signature. It's got an F sharp. You can check the time signature as well. I mean, of course you should really, but I think sometimes if you're working at grade 2 level, just think of the T, 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 T word that I use, and you're going to get the rhythm no matter what. And then off you go and play. And at a beginner's level, don't worry too much about the loud and the quiet. Just get through the notes. I think I might have even done the wrong note myself there, but playing sight doesn't matter. Right, hope that helps, and good luck with your sight reading practice. The most important thing is read every day.